What up, you guys? Okay, so I'm gonna make a quick update. Hold on. Okay, so since we last spoke, I kind of got some kind of way about my plants like not producing and not growing and stuff like that. And then also there's like rot or wilt or something like that. Like the leaves just were turning yellow and dying off. So kind of what I've done. So here's the first thing. After watching Mark's video about like dead grass clippings and stuff like that, I am not a fan of dead grass clippings. What I would probably end up doing, just kind of depending on how people in my neighborhood, how receptive they are, is I'm probably going to end up buying a wood chipper and then offering to haul away people's lawn scraps and then just make my own mulch and then potentially sell it back out to other people to keep that going. But if we're looking at like what's the cheapest way, most economical, most reusable way to do things, I think the dead grass clippings are a great poor man's mulch. But in terms of what it's probably doing to my soil, mixing in a whole bunch of dead carbon, and then just the fact that it shuffles really easy in the rain, I'm not stoked about that. So all in all, when this bed is done, I'm going to either spend the money on the chipper and some scraps, or I'm going to just go ahead and buy some professional mulch. The next thing I would say is, as far as the soil goes, I'm definitely going to invest in better, I forget what the amendments, there we go. I'm going to invest in more peat moss, or let me rephrase that. I'm probably going to buy one more big bag of peat moss, so 3 cubic feet to like fill it out. But a majority of what I buy for this bed going forward is going to be like actual planting soil. And I think this bed is going to end up being for vegetables, so I'm probably going to buy a veggie mix of soil, probably like 5 or 6 of those, and mix it in to make up the deficit. That being said, I don't think there's any like, on the composting and soil front. So I checked out that book, I think the guy's name is Tony, that Mark had suggested, and my thing there is it's only available through Amazon as a Kindle book, and that's, I'm one of those people that chooses not to support Amazon, so that's a non-starter for me. However, on his website, there's a woman who sells a $20 course for whatever, for like, it looks like just the whole gamut of things. So I'm probably going to end up purchasing that course and then folding that into my curriculum. But part of why I'm so far away from gardening is I'm actually working on starting a software business on the side. So a lot of what I've been doing lately has been working through technical books, building out, cloud infrastructure and writing code. So I haven't necessarily had a whole bunch of time to focus on my garden. But that being said, let's look at the garden because it looks so much better than it did, I think, the last time you saw it. Yeah. So I guess one thing I will say is I'm noticing that there are a lot more and different bugs, which I interpret that to be a good thing. I think that means there's probably an ecosystem or just new bugs and biological processes are being brought into this raised bed because there's plants and nutrients and all this other stuff. So I'm taking that as a good sign. But anyway, so starting with the green beans, I've actually been trimming these a whole bunch, and I've been having good results with that. So you might have remembered in earlier videos how there was a lot of like splay coming out from the sides. So what I tried to do was basically just shore these up. So I'm encouraging the plant to go up, not out. And when I did that, I noticed like you can see these vines. So all of a sudden my vines started becoming thicker, And one thing I thought is like really cool, just as like a noob or whatever, is the vines grow themselves. It's so wild. Like, I remember these vines were kind of like floopy and nasty and whatever. And so I started making it a habit to zip tie the bottoms to the trellis so the plant would like start growing up. But then I also started keeping a couple of the vines. Like, I would have to come out here like every couple days and like rewind them, but that was only for about 2 weeks. But I made sure to wrap them around the trellis to encourage them to grow up. And it's wild how they just keep, like, now that they're established on the trellis, they just shoot up and grow by themselves. So I haven't seen any like green bean stalks or anything like that yet, but I'm hoping. I think I still have about 3 or 4 weeks until the green beans are supposed to be done. I'll just do the other plants and then I'll tell you all about like watering and stuff like that. So the squashes, I noticed that there were bees hovering around, and a couple days later, cha-cha. So my understanding, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back there. Yeah, so I got 5 on this plant, and then on this plant, it looks like I have 2 more. So I'm wondering, and then like these 2 don't look like they're going to produce anything, so I might just go ahead and pull them. So my question to y'all is this a good time? So one of Mark's pieces of advice for pollinating when you don't have bees is to take an electric toothbrush and then just kind of like move around the plants. Does that apply? So these are summer squashes. Does that apply to these or no? And is that even really worth doing, or just kind of based off, just to kind of show y'all, these are what the plants look like. Do you think it's worth it to go out there and get an electric toothbrush and try that? Or do you think probably just go ahead and pull those up and compost them and, tear down the bed as much as you can for, regrowing and whatnot to like reset the bed for a new crop? That being said, you might have noticed these tomatoes. So these I actually got from a Callaway's. It's a nursery around here. They were dying. So they were like $3-4 a piece. And I ended up leaving them in the plant or in their potter for about 4 or 5 days. I watered. So as soon as I got them, I thoroughly watered them, and I put in, between the 3 of them, probably about a half gallon of fish emulsion, and they came back to life. So we can even like look and see, like, you got these bad boys. So it looks like there are some tomato starts starting to go on them. Let me see if I'm getting that right. Yeah, like that. This one doesn't really seem to be doing anything. So probably here in a week or so, I'm going to be purchasing a trellis for the tomatoes. But I think I also need to start putting some thought into what am I going to do about this bed, because the tomatoes are actually indeterminates. So my understanding is I can just keep those, and as long as I take care of them, they should continue to grow fine. So yeah, I need to give that some thought, because your boy, as you can tell, this raised bed has sunk pretty thoroughly, and it definitely needs more soil. And then as far as watering and stuff like that goes, so going back to the yellowing, the wilting and stuff like that, and then the lack of producing, let me switch. So, one of the things we say is measure, like just measure things. You track what you measure. And what I started realizing is I was not watering these regularly. Basically my watering and my fertilizing was really like sporadic, or whenever I was like, oh God, I need to do something. So what I've started doing is actually watering these once every 2 days, and I douse them. I just thoroughly douse these bad boys in water to give them as much as they need. And I attribute the plants that I'm having and the new growth on the green beans to that. Things look a lot healthier. There's, as you can see, there are many fewer yellow wilting dead leaves and stuff like that. So making sure to do that. And then as far as fertilizing goes, I'm moving on to once every about a week and a half to 2 weeks. And I will typically, among the entire raised bed, I will probably put in about like 2 gallons directly at the root of the plant. So, or let me say that better. 2 gallons total for the whole raised bed, spread across 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plants. So that being said, I think what the next steps are going to be, and what I hope to talk to y'all about the next time I make a video, is my plans to expand this bed, or expand my garden. I'm thinking about getting that Vigo garden. It's like a $1,500 kit. It's really nice. It's huge. It has, and it kind of looks like it would be good for a seating area. So, goals, double goals. I hope to talk to y'all about, okay, now that I'm a little less ignorant, like I've gone through the process of getting soil and all this other jazz, learning about fertilizer and stuff like that, what am I going to do different with these raised beds to, start them off stronger and better? So with that in mind, let me know what y'all think. If you have any ideas, next video, I hope to talk to y'all about the expansion plans and then my feedback from that woman's planting course, gardening course, because it's really kind of hit home talking to y'all on the forum that it is one thing to take care of your plants, it's another to take care of your soil, and if you take care of your soil, your plants will follow. So that needs to be my focus, and that's what I'm going to focus on. All right, gang. Peace out. Ooh, under 15 minutes.